Now, the Israeli military says a senior local Hamas commander was amongst 3 Palestinians killed on the third day of a major Israeli operation in the occupied West Bank. Eyewitnesses say Israeli undercover forces attempted to detain a man in a village near Jenin. When they tried to flee, their car was struck by an Israeli drone. Israeli forces are now thought to have withdrawn from the city of Tulkarm, where 5 Palestinians were killed on Thursday. Well, I'm joined by Sharon Haskell, a member of the Israeli Parliament, the Knesset, for the National Unity Party. Thank you very much for being with us today. Do you support the government's operation in the West Bank? Because you would have seen leaders from the UN, from other countries have expressed concern at the escalation in the region.
Well, the IDF is protecting and defending our children, our citizens. These operations are operations to eliminate terror cells, violent cells of Hamas. Today, that was one of the heads of the terror cells of Hamas in Jenin that was eliminated. The 2 that were with him were actually from the Islamic Jihad and from the Fatah, which is tied to the Palestinian Authority. It means that ever since, I think it was 2 days ago, when Khalid Mashal, who is a senior Hamas leader, who called out for everybody in Hamas, in Judea and Samaria, the West Bank, to go out on and act and commit acts of terrorism, of murder, of suicide attacks, suicide bombings. So right now we are on the guard and are trying to eliminate that threat for our communities, for our children.
Can I just put to you a statement from the British Foreign Office, which says the UK is deeply concerned by the ongoing IDF military operation in the occupied West Bank. We recognise Israel's need to defend itself against security threats, but we're deeply worried by the methods Israel's employed and by reports of civilian casualties and the destruction of civilian infrastructure. Now, the UK is obviously a long-standing ally and political supporter of Israel, but you know, the British government is expressing its concerns today.
So, look, here in Israel, we are fighting a multi-front war against Iran. Iran is sending its tentacles from all around, from Lebanon, from Yemen, from Iraq, from Syria, and is trying to ignite this violence from within as well, including Judea and Samaria. We expect our allies, our friends, to stand beside us when we are actually fighting on our survival. This is our second independence war. And you know that if Hamas wouldn't have opened this murderous, most violent attack that Israel has actually ever experienced, this would have never happened before. We didn't want this war.
But this is happening on us. This is happening at the same time that many international players are trying to help a resolution, a peaceful resolution. And the concern is that even with those security concerns that Israel obviously has, that this escalation is going to further ignite those tensions and not help lead to a peaceful resolution, which is presumably what everybody wants. Israel wants the hostages returned.
Absolutely, Gita. I mean, don't forget, a ceasefire will be possible when all of our hostages are back. We have more than 100 brothers and sisters and parents and babies and grandparents who are being held in the dungeons of torture of Hamas, being abused, being sexually abused, being starved. We have released one of the prisoners, a Muslim Israeli hostage that Hamas kept for 10 months. He returned 25 kilos less. He said there was no food, they were abusing him. I mean, any other country would have never stopped looking for their family members, for their community, for 100 hostages, and will not stop until they will be returned. I mean, this is what any country would have done, and this is what we are doing here in Israel.
Sharon Haskell,
and obviously,
I'm so sorry, if you don't mind, we will have to leave it there, but thank you very much indeed for being with us, and we do appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thank you very much.